Hello and welcome back to HR Horrors. I'm George Akel and today's episode is the business partner that became a business disaster. Now the backstory here is an organisation that had several technicians, many technicians on its platform, began to see a strange trend in an increase, significant increase in overtime being booked and overtime being paid. So to avoid an occupational health and safety issue, they wanted to review that and investigate in the event that people were being overworked or understaffed, resulting in overwork, etc. Upon their investigation, they quickly realized that although overtime was being booked and overtime was being approved and overtime was being paid, no overtime was actually being worked. So further investigations and interviews with managers revealed that some managers, or one in particular, had been having issues with some of his staff who were agitating for a salary increase. Now, there were no salary increases forthcoming, and he was concerned that he was going to lose some of his team. Speaking to his HR business partner, he got some great advice. Jen, his business partner, advised him that perhaps he could give more overtime to his staff, allowing them to have more take-home pay, and as a result, less pressure for salary increases. Now, further interviews with Jen, the business partner, and the manager revealed some sort of miscommunication. She was adamant that she told him to give them more overtime, as in more work, so they can be paid more overtime and get paid more. He was adamant that she said to him with a nudge, nudge, wink, wink, a green light to put some overtime through, give them some more dollars in the bank, and they'll be happy and they'll shut up and you won't have a problem. Now, this was increased and aggravated by the fact that this manager had communicated that with other managers, and it became not just his small team, but all the technicians were conducting this behaviour in booking overtime. Their managers were approving the overtime, they were being paid the overtime, but there was no overtime being worked. Now, this is quite a problem for any organisation. Now, the situation here is clear. The business had an issue, had a problem with staff, compensation, and the business partner was not able to provide an appropriate strategy to attack this. Now, the problem here is business partners and management generally focus on the title business partner rather than on the skills and competencies required to fill such a role. So they're more interested in the responsibilities and the title rather than as the competencies and what the individual can bring. Thus my previous video on the accidental business partner. You can have a look at that, it's on our YouTube channel. When looking at a business partner needs to be someone who can bring knowledge to the business, understand what they bring to the broader organisation, and understand how to then help them grow and develop and support the organisation. Secondly, they should understand what the broader organisational objectives are to ensure that the business and its strategy is in line with the broader organisational strategy. Thirdly, they must be able to bring HR and the business together to work in unison to deliver on the overall objectives. There's no point having the business moving in one direction and HR moving in the other direction, because you'll never be able to achieve the organisational goals. Fourth, and very, very importantly, a business partner needs to understand what HR brings to the table, end to end. What all the specialist areas within HR do, what they can bring to the table, what solutions they can apply. in this case here, we know that had Jen brought the compensation people into the conversation to be able to give an understanding of where the market is for these compensation, for these technicians, and how best to approach it. But she didn't. So, and finally, a business partner really needs to show and demonstrate to their business that they understand what this business does. They understand the nuts and bolts of what makes this critical part of the overall organization, so that they're able to stand in a position of gravitas, in a position of knowledge, to be able to influence decisions that are being made. So just remember, it's not about the title. It's about what the individual brings to the table. And if that individual doesn't bring enough to the table, it's incumbent upon you to train them or to drain them. Now, do you have a Jen in your organization? Is your business partner a business disaster? Please leave us your comments. We'd be grateful to hear from you what you think makes a great business partner. Please continue to share your experiences so we can put them together into these case studies. Like our video, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get the latest updates. Check out our website. Hit us up with a message or a request for an obligation-free and cost-free introduction, and we'll get back to you. Thank you and cheers.